Hello again, YouTube. Today I will be talking about the home screen of my cell phone. The reason why I want to talk about this is that it's very important when designing your digital environment, which is how I think of my phone screen, it's very important to make those apps that you want to use readily accessible and to make other apps that you don't want to use, at least not as often, harder to reach. That's why I only keep a very minimal set of apps on the home screen of my phone, and any other apps like social media or other distracting apps are installed, but I have to swipe to access them. This ensures that if I'm taking a lazy action, I will do something that is, generally speaking, more productive than what I would do if perhaps Facebook were on my home screen. As you can see here, I have the apps that are on the home screen of my phone. I'll just walk through them and speak to each of them in turn. I might open some of them depending on whether there's anything sensitive in them. Obviously at the top I have the current day and also the temperature. That's just a standard weather app. I don't have too much control over that, although I think I could put another widget there in its place. This right here shows how much data I've used so far this month. I have Google Fi, and it lets me know whether I'm getting close to high data usage. I have Amazon Kindle installed. It's very good to make book reading a default action. You can read a few pages like when you're waiting in line or taking a break at work. I have YouTube videos linked to, and specifically I have my subscriptions here as a widget. I don't have the home screen of YouTube because the home screen opens with a lot of video suggestions, and so if I go to YouTube looking for something specific, I could get sucked into a rabbit hole of looking at videos that aren't really related to the task at hand. And the same thing holds true for this widget. This is for YouTube Music, and it's on the search function because that way I'm forced to actually type in what I want to listen to as opposed to just, again, randomly scrolling. I do have the multi-timer open, which I can show you. It has a number of different timers. As you can see right now, I'm in the middle of one of my Pomodoros, but I have timers for taking breaks of various lengths, for exercising, and so forth. Calculator, pretty straightforward, handy when I'm at the grocery store, for example, and want to see which item has a better per unit cost. I have Google Pay for mobile payments without a card. Mint, I use to track my finances. Simply Auto is nice for keeping track of my trips, to see what my fuel economy is, to see how the price of gas changes over time, things like that. It's a handy little app. My photos, I won't open those. Who knows what photos will be displayed. iNaturalist, which is for uploading pictures of different species to see if the community is able to help me identify them. Here you can see I have, 353 observations and 249 species. I don't know how to identify all of these. For a lot of these, the community did the identification, but you can see some of the species that I've found over time. I have Authy for two-factor authentication, LastPass for password management, Chrome is my web browser, Evernote for my note-taking system, and I covered that in a previous video, so please check that out. I also have a widget for Evernote that if I tap it, it will open a voice note. Actually, I can just do this right now. If I tap this, it will open a voice note in this working notes notebook, and then it will start recording my voice. The idea here is like if I'm driving or otherwise pretty occupied but have an idea for something I want to record, I can quickly tap this widget, have it start recording, and just start speaking out my ideas so that way they don't get lost. It's just a nice little tool. Drive for document management. I've covered that in a previous video as well. Maps for navigation. Slack, I use that mainly for work communication. I'm part of a personal Slack group as well, but it's not too active right now. Phone, obviously, for phone calls. A text messaging app. The one thing that I will show you, I can do this without showing you any of my texts, is that this screen right here is empty. When I get text messages and actually process them, I use the archive feature. That way I know there's no action I need to take on them, and this screen just has any text that I haven't read, or it allows me to start a new text message. WhatsApp for communication. For example, I communicated with a speaker for a meetup that I run for work using WhatsApp because he lives in India. Gmail, I won't open that because who knows what emails I've received. And then calendar, I've talked about my calendar in the past as well. And then finally, I believe this is a default on the Pixel, but I have the Google search widget here at the bottom. Allows me to do a voice search. And I think this little camera looking icon on the right is for if I want to take a picture of something and have Google try to tell me what that thing is. So there you have it. That is the home screen of my phone. It just has a core set of apps that are reasonably productive to use. I do check these. I make sure to check them twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. Although during the day, I may use some of them periodically, like Gmail and Kindle. But generally speaking, I will, without fail, check them twice a day. Hope this was helpful in allowing you to think about how you might want to organize your phone, the home screen, and the apps that you have on it. Please let me know what you think in the comments section, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.